Do not take this cat home. But I did. Warning. This game is not suitable for children or the easily disturbed. It includes depictions of horror elements, human, animal violence, and death, abuse, abusive relationships, disturbing images, loud noises, flashing images, lights, and more. Individuals suffering from anxiety, depression, or certain fears, phobias may not have a safe experience playing this game. For a full list of content trigger warnings, go to About section in the game's main menu. So you guys have been warned. If you have anything of those things, don't watch my video. Don't play this game. Look at the cute kitty. Look how cute he is. You're not having a great day, as usual. Oh, great. It's the first time in a while that you felt like going out. But in the middle of your walk, it starts to rain. Typical. But maybe this is just a sign that you should have stayed home today? Yeah, you can always try again tomorrow. Right? You turn to head home when... Oh, huh? What was that? There are only a few people around on the street. Makes sense due to the increase of missing persons around the area recently. Well, that and the weather. But none of them react to the sounds at all. Curiosity gilding your steps, you follow the sound to the entrance of a dark, dingy alleyway. You timidly enter the alley and walk forwards. The ground dampened by the rain makes your steps sound louder and more confident than you actually feel. Aw. Finally, the sound source comes into view in the cold, dim light of the alley. At the end of the alley, in a big cardboard box, is a cat. A cute little kitty cat. Huh, guess that should have been obvious. It's an interesting looking cat. Its pretty yellow eyes shine like gold among the dark sea of its black fur. It puts its front paws up on the edge of the box and looks up at you. So cute. And it definitely knows it. You've never had much of an opinion one way or another about cats before. But if they're all like this one, it's a shock they haven't already found a way to rule the world. You don't think you'd mind bowing down to a feline overlord. You look around the alley with a small frown. Who leaves cats in cardboard boxes these days anyway? Wouldn't they just jump out and leave the box eventually? The cat doesn't answer you, obviously. It also doesn't do you as you suggest and leave the box. It's just looking at you, as if waiting for you to make the next move. Do not take cat home. This is the end. Take cat home, obviously. We can't leave cats alone. You know what? You reach into the box and pick the cat up, holding it out in front of you. Why not? You're all alone, and well, I'm kind of in the same boat myself, so you bring the cat close. You didn't realize it was shivering until just then, but it slowly breathes easier as it presses into your chest. Why not stick together, right? At least for a little while. There's nothing better than the sound of a cat purring. You think a little while will probably be more like a day. You'll be responsible and take it to a cellar tomorrow. But for now, let's get you out of the rain, okay? You stop by a small local pet store for some cat food, then head back home. You live in a modest apartment. One bedroom, one bathroom, one you living alone in it. So it feels weird having another living being inside it after so long, even if it's just a cat. After locking the front door and placing the cat on the floor, you watch for a moment as it curiously explores the new environment. Leaving the feline to its own devices, you set about making the both of you some dinner. You take out a can of cat food and open it with a tap on top. You put some cat food on a saucer and click your tongue to call the cat over to you. It perks up at your beckoning and rushes over. It looks at a plate of food and completely ignores it. Not hungry, I guess. You try not to let it annoy you. The cat doesn't understand the concept of money to appreciate that you spent your hard-earned cash on it. Well, obviously. It's just a cat after all. I'll just leave it here if you get hungry later, okay? The cat rubs its body against your legs with a purr. You smile. That's enough of a thanks for you. It follows you into the kitchen as you start on your own dinner. You decide that you have enough ingredients for a sandwich. Bread toasted, mayo and mustard spreads, turkey and cheese and lettuce perfectly placed, tomato sliced. Oh. You wince as you cut your finger on a knife while slicing a tomato. Stupid. You feel a little embarrassed for such a blunder and sigh, tossing the knife onto the cutting board. You're about to head to the bedroom for a bandage when the cat hops onto the counter. It sniffs at the knife and meows almost pointedly at you. Hehe, don't worry, I'm alright. It was just an... You watch as the cat starts to... It's licking my blood. Lick lightly but enthusiastically at the blood on the knife. At your blood. You're so shocked that by the time you come to your senses, the knife has been completely licked clean. The cat sits back, staring at you. You feel a little uneasy. Sure, cats are meat-eating predators, but that was a little weird, right? Sure, you're no cat expert, but that was definitely not something an ordinary cat would do. Right? Well, regardless, you're not about to abandon a cat in need while it's still raining outside, not after all your efforts. You were going to take it to the shelter tomorrow anyway. What's one night of awkwardness? Weird or not, it's just a cat. The rest of the evening, unfortunately, goes downhill from there. Even after covering up your fingers cut with a bandage, the cat keeps trying to lick at the wound. While you're eating your sandwich, while you're cleaning up the kitchen, while trying to watch TV, you gently push it away every time, but you're starting to get worried at its strange behavior. What if it's got a taste for blood and thinks you're food now? You're not sure what you'll do if it starts to get more aggressive. You keep thinking about the cat food sitting in the corner, untouched. Ugh, come on, enough already. You shove it away a little more forcefully this time out of annoyance. You feel bad immediately, but before you can do anything, the cat meows sharply at you and dashes off around the corner and into the hall. You sigh deeply. At this point, you're just worried that it's going to take a bite out of you in your sleep. What? Maybe a vet will have an idea on how to calm it down. You can only hope. You don't have many other options left other than tossing the cat out in the rain. After finding the number of a local vet, you pick up your landline and... Oh my god. What is happening? The lights just went out? Great, just great. Rain must have knocked out the power. You check your cell phone only to find that it's out of batteries. You must have forgotten to charge it before leaving out earlier. The outing has been so spur of the moment that it had no doubt messed with your usual routine. You grab a flashlight and turn it on. It's quiet. It's too quiet. Did the rain stop? But then, why did the power go out? You look outside. The sky is pitch black. What time is it? You turn to check the clock. The cat sits on top of your digital clock, staring at you. Thinking now, you realize the clock shouldn't be working at all with the power outage, but the numbers are lit up and going completely haywire. Help, kill. The cat stares at you. It's completely still. You'd think it was a statue if you didn't know any better. It's not giving off any indication that it's alive. It's not blinking. It's not even breathing, but it sighs. This isn't normal. You're afraid. You want to run, but you're afraid of letting the cat out of your sight. You consider tossing the cat out after all. But as soon as the thought enters your head, sorry, you feel a sharp urge to vomit. Those eyes, its eyes hold you still. Even with your flashlight trained on it, its pupils are large, round. The flashlight flickers. And the cat is gone. Fear immediately grips your mind. The silence punctuated with the rapid pumping of blood in your heart is overwritten as your ears slowly start to pick up the sound of static all around you. How is a clock working with no power? You don't know why such a question matters at the moment, but you feel as if having the answer will make sense out of everything that's happening, that order will be restored. But no answer comes to mind. You're back away from the clock, and feels as if the air itself goes tightly and abruptly in response, like a predator prepared to pounce, but waiting for your next move. But you're afraid to move. You're afraid to even take a breath. But you can't stay still forever, right? Whatever is watching you, you can always feel its impatience. It's too eager. You don't know how you know this, but you can sense it as clearly as it had whispered. Oh my god, that's creepy. It's like the cat is right next to me or something. Well, a cat that talks, obviously. Right into your soul. It won't let you wait it out. Not that you could even if it did. You can't stay here. You have to run. With this thought, a sudden primal instinct awakens within you, making you tear yourself into a hazy burst of movement, of action, but you're still weak from the fierce grip on your mind. Your legs tangle together under you in your haste and you fall to the ground. A sharp pain explodes in the center of your foot. At first, you think you've broken your ankle, but something warm and wet trickles down the length of your foot, pulling underneath it. You hear the sound of metal scraping on tiles after skidding across the floor, as if it had been kicked. Winded from your fall, you look up in a daze and see the object glinting in a strange light coming in from outside, the light pouring in from your now open front door. Thoughts of how, when, who, what in regard to your inexplicably opened door screech to a halt, as your brain finally identifies the metal object you've been staring at. It's your kitchen knife. And still tinted red from earlier blunder, but that's not right. Wasn't it completely licked clean by the... You gulp dryly at the pain in your foot. You barely have time to wonder how the knife ended up on your living room floor to be stepped on, instead of resting on your cutting board in the kitchen where you'd left it. Oh my god. When you spy something in the darkness just beyond the knife, it spies right back at you. A pair of glowing golden eyes come forward as a cat emerges from the shadows into the light from your doorway. It pats slightly over to the knife, and if skipping in the light, and bends down to lap at the blood dripping from the blade. Ah. Your senses slowly begin to overwhelm you. The chill of the air as it starts to suffocate you under its weight. The sound of your shaky breaths, discordant against the static now piercing your skull. The dryness on your tongue spreading to your throat. The incomprehensible sight of the stray you've taken in, licking away at your kitchen knife, once again completely clean. The scent of blood from the fresh wound on your foot. Blood. Golden eyes light up to you as in response to your sudden realization. Blood. You're hurt. Your foot is bleeding. You're bleeding. You're bleeding. The cat barely moves, shoulders twitching as it's just considering the act of bouncing forward. But you're already on your feet and out the door. Thank God. You run, or rather limp, down the empty streets. The sky is black and bleeding red, but there's a strange light emitting from nowhere that casts everything else in white. The houses, the trees, the roads, even you. Everything. Except your blood. You can just barely glimpse the bloody imprints your injured foot leaves in your wake with every impact it makes with the ground. It hurts. It hurts, but you can't stop. You don't stop. Not when the shadows grow around you. Not when you feel the gaze of eyes all over you. Not when the road ahead of you is darkened by a long shadow of something behind you. Even then, you don't stop running, because if that's the cat right there ahead of you, then oh no, what's behind me? What in the world is behind you? Oh no, I have to choose. Look behind you or keep running. Keep running. Huh? Interesting. How very, very interesting. Ending 0. It begins. Okay. You're walking. Right, of course. It's the first time in a while that you felt like going out. And you're actually glad that you did. The weather is absolutely perfect today. That's a good sign, right? Maybe your luck is finally starting to turn around. You tentatively allow yourself to feel excited for the possibilities of where you could go or what you could do, maybe even who you could meet. You're so deep in thought that you almost miss it. Huh? What was that? Curiosity guiding your steps, you follow the sound to the entrance of a lonely alleyway. The sunlight only just managed to reach down in between the tall buildings on either side. You timidly enter the alley and walk forward, the loose gravel and scattered debris on the ground softening your steps. Finally, the sound source comes into view in the warm, almost ethereal light of the alley. At the end of the alley, in a big cardboard box. Deja vu. So we're starting again and again and again. Huh, guess that should have been obvious. Oh my god, look at the tongue sticking out. So cute. It's an interesting looking cat. Its pretty yellow eyes shine like gold among the dark sea of its black fur. It puts its front paws on the edge of the box and looks up at you. Adorable. So, you look so familiar, right? Yeah, you saw him before, just like 5 minutes ago. Then again, it is a cat. Not many different ways for a standard black cat to look, after all. This one sure is a cutie though. Just look, it's not glaring at you or hissing at you for getting this close like other stray cats have in the past. It's just sitting there patiently, waiting for you to do something. We're again going to take it home, I don't care. We are not leaving a poor stray cat in a box like this. Even if it's evil and wants to drink my blood, I don't care. Well, why not, right? You barely reach out your arms before the cat eagerly leaps into them and climbs up onto your shoulders. It butts its head into your tumble, nuzzling against it. So good. Haha, you can't help but smile at the cat's enthusiasm. Let's get you out of here, yeah? On the way home, you briefly consider getting cat food. But that would be a waste of time. You shrug at the odd feeling and move on. You live in a modest apartment. 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, one you're living alone in it. So it feels weird having another living being inside it after so long. even if it's just a cat. After locking the front door and placing the cat on the floor, you wait for it to walk away and explore the new environment. But it simply sits and looks up at you expectantly. Do something with cats, of course. Like what? Pet cat, feed cat, play with cat, clean cat. Pet cat. It's not every day you have access to a cute, fluffy animal. What else is there to do but pet it to your heart's content? You sit on the floor in your living room and click your tongue to call the cat over. The cat dashes over to you, immediately climbing into your lap. Poor thing, you just want some attention, don't you? Hehe, alright, alright. You carefully pet the cat. A rub behind the ear, a scratch under the chin, a smooth sweep along the back. The noise is so satisfying. Huh? Good? You keep petting the cat in your lap, enjoying this bonding time together. But the cat starts to get restless after a while. Let's do something else. Play with cat. Poor thing was probably bored stiff, sitting in that old box all day, just watching crowds of people walking by them, ignoring them. Them. You can't just leave them alone as soon you're home. A little interspecies socializing won't kill you, right? Oh, you just want some attention, don't you? You wanna play, huh? Heh, okay then. What to play though? Let's play with the cat. Look for some yarn. I think my laser pointer still works. Hide and seek, a classic. Huh. Laser pointer. Cats are curious creatures by nature. They're also natural hunters, sort of. Why not pass the time by letting the cat hunt after something it never quite understands? That sounds a little mean when you think of it like that, but it's not like the cats will know anyway. Ignorance is bliss, or so they say. So you dig out your old laser pointer from your long gone dreaded days of group presentations in school. You flip it on and see that even after all this time the batteries still work. You get a little kick out of aiming at its mirror hanging in the living room so it reflects off the glass, making a little red dot appear on your knee. The cat cautiously walks over, stopping every few steps to cast a look of suspicion at you. When it finally reaches you, it lightly presses a paw to your knee, like it's trying to catch the dot of red light as casually as possible. You manage to hold back a chuckle, not that it really matters. The cat isn't paying attention to you at all, entirely focused on the light now resting on top of its paw. Haha, you move the light a little higher above your knee. The cat reacts immediately, trying to pin the light down. But in the next second, you've already moved it to the floor. The cat jerkily follows, attempting a more energetic bounce when you shift the red dot. Over here, over there, and over there. By the couch, on the couch. It fell. The cats might be ignoring you, but you're certainly enjoying yourself. It's been a while since you laughed this much. You're laughing so much, in fact, that you accidentally shift the red dot onto a lamp beside the couch. In its haste to get the light, the cat leaps onto the lamp, sending them both to the ground. Crash! Oh my gosh! The cat is sitting in the middle of Forman's lamp's broken shards. Back hunched, its heap whipping around back and forth as it's in panic. You quickly turn off the laser pointer and rush over. I'm so sorry. Are you okay? Are you hurt? You reach down to pick up the cat and check it for any injuries when... Ooh. Slash. Oh, hey. The cat swipes at you, claws extended. It backs up and twitches away, making frantic half turns in various directions as if looking for something, or waiting for something to appear. Oh geez, that really hurt, you know. You hold the hand with the scratch close to your chest. It's bleeding, but it's not too big. You're more annoyed than anything, but it's just a cat. Immediately, your annoyance starts to bleed into concern. Is that cat okay? You watch in shock as a cat starts to run around, tearing at the carpet, the sofa, your armchair. You want to stop it, but you're afraid of getting in the middle of its rampage. You consider calling a vet for advice on how to calm it down, but for some reason, you feel like that wouldn't be a good idea. What happened to you? Is it an idea comes to you, or rather, a realization? You grasp a laser pointer, aiming it safely away towards the floor in the middle of the living room, thinking, hoping, that the cat would calm down if it found what it was looking for. You turn on the laser pointer. The cat's reaction is immediate. Is that a tiger? You screwed up. In a span of mere seconds, you watch as a cat spies the red dot from its perch on a shredded armchair. Leaps high into the air. What the hell is that? Changes in the air. Crash. And slams down upon the dot on the floor with a weight and force that shakes the whole apartment, maybe even the whole building. You wonder dizzily how none of the other tenants have rushed over to complain about the noise. Yet, as you stare at the sight in front of you, the cat has somehow grown in size. What is that? Eyes bulging and glowing, tail thrashing, teeth enlarged, pairs and covered alarmingly in a bubbling froth. Its giant claws rip and shred through the carpets, through the floor tiles, and even below them, ravenously trying to get at the red dot. Your hands are shaking. You don't know what to do. You feel trapped. You have to get away. Get it away from you. You slowly back up towards the door. The light moves with you. Instinctively, you flick the light away. This way and that, the cat stampedly after it. Crash. So fast. Smashing through the TV, breaking the couch, in the half. Crash, crash. Too fast. Bulldozing through the wall, into the hallway. Crash. A chance. You turn, instantly bolt out the door and never come back. But in your haste, you forgot something. You forgot several somethings. You forget the laser pointer, gripped like a lifeline in your hands. What an idiot. You forget the mirror, still miraculously hanging on the wall next to the hallway, the laser reflecting off of it, putting a small glowing red dot on the back of your head. Oh my god. And as you reach the door, you forget that it's locked. Oh no. Oh my god. You don't even have the chance to turn around before the cat lunges all the way across the room at you. Oh my god, stay calm. This kitty is crazy. Or just like Sydney said in Scary Movie 2. My kitty has gone crazy. You're torn to shreds before you can even blink. I'm sorry. Ending 12, targeted. Oh, this game is so funny. Continue. You're walking. Right, of course. It's the first time in a while that you felt like going out. And you're actually glad that you did. The weather is absolutely perfect today. That's a good sign, right? Maybe your luck is finally starting to turn around. You tell yourself to feel excited for the possibilities of where you could go or what you could do, even who you could meet. You're so deep in thought that you almost miss it. Huh, what was that? Curiosity guiding your steps, you follow the sound to the ends of a lonely alleyway. The sunlight only just managed to reach down in between the tall buildings on either side. You timidly enter the alley and walk forward, the loose gravel and scattered debris on the ground softening your steps. Finally, the sound source comes into view in the warm, almost ethereal light of the alley. At the end of the alley, in a big cardboard box. Surprise, surprise, a kitty cat. Huh, guess that should have been obvious. It It's an interesting looking cat. Its pale yellow eyes shine like gold among the dark sea of its black fur. Sorry, I clicked too fast. But we already read everything, so... So, you look so familiar, right? Then again, it is a cat, not many different ways for a standard black cat to look. After all, this one sure is a cutie though. Just look, it's not glaring at you or hissing at you for getting this close like other stray cats have in the past. It's just sitting there patiently, waiting for you to do something. Of course we're taking the cat home. We're not giving up. You barely reach out your arms before the cat easily leaps into them and climbs up onto your shoulder. It butts its head into your temple, nuzzling against it. Purr, purr, purr. Hehe. You can't help but smile at the cat's enthusiasm. Let's get you out of here, yeah? On the way home, you briefly consider getting cat food, but that would be a waste of time. You shrug at the old feeling and move on. You live in a modest apartment, 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom. I know, I'm alone. So it feels weird having another living being inside it after so long, even if it's just a cat. After locking the front door and placing the cat on the floor, you wait for it to walk away and explore the new environment. But it simply sits and looks up at you expectantly. Do something with cats. Maybe you have to clean the cat. You realize that the cat isn't exactly clean. Not surprising, since up until you brought it home, it's been sitting in a dirty old box in an alley full of scattered garbage for who knows how long. You've heard the cats can keep themselves clean, but maybe this one is one of those times that a little human help couldn't hurt. You head into the bathroom and set things up, trying to remember how to wash a cat. You're definitely no expert, but you think the best way to get a cat clean would be carefully. You think careful is the way to go. Cats aren't always fond of water, so you doubt you'll be a fan of an excessive amount of it. So you pick the cat up and place it gently in the sink before turning on the water. The cat is startled, but ultimately doesn't try to run away. Nice! You lather your hands with some soap and carefully give the cat a truly half scrub, half massage. After a few minutes, you rinse the cat completely and gather it up in a blanket, drying it. Then you take a brush and carefully run it through the cat's fur. The cat seems like it's in heaven as you brush it. Some hairs are sticking to you, but you don't mind. In fact, here it comes. Quite a lot of fur is sticking on you. That's normal. If I pet Pablo, my cat, my hand is also full of fur. You try to brush it away, but it won't come off. That's also completely normal. Guess you're up next for a bath yourself. You try to ignore the fur and finish with the cat quickly, but more hair keeps sticking to you. Your hands, your arms. Before you realize it, they've covered in fur that won't come off. It's thick enough that you try to just yank it off, but... Oh, what? Pain lasts to the spot you tugged at. Upon closer inspection, you see that the hair is... growing out of you. Oh! Oh! You can actually feel it now. Fur growing out of your back, your neck, your face, your eyes, your tongue. I'm becoming a cat, guys. It's even growing inside your throat. Gasp, kuh, kuh. As you collapse and start to choke on the thickening fur in your esophagus, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that, the cat leans up to lap at the fur growing on your forehead, grooming your hair as truly as you did for it earlier. You think it'd be sweet if you weren't currently losing air. Still, feels nice at least to be looked after and cared for in some way, even if it's just for a little while longer. The cat's careful grooming is the last thing you feel before you're no longer able to breathe. Ending 15 self-care buddies. I think this is a nice ending, don't you guys think? I think it was quite nice. I died happily, in peace. So we're going to skip everything now. Of course, we're going to take it home. Let's do something alone. Like what? Clean apartment, watch a movie, take a nap. Take a nap. You're a little tired from the events of the day. Make life-changing choices like committing to the responsibility of caring for another living creature really wears you out. You could definitely use a nap. You head to your room and get dressed in your pajamas before you decide to grab a glass of water from the kitchen. You head back to your bedroom ready for a much needed nap. Whoa! Only for the cat to race past you to the open door and jump on the middle of the bed. It takes its time, gnawing at the sheets before settling down and closing its eyes. Well, that was fast. You frown thoughtfully. Now that your mind's on it, you find yourself really craving a nap in your own bed. There's no way you're settling for sleeping on the couch. Certainly not the armchair, which means you should sleep next to the cat. You shrug. What's the harm in sharing the bed, right? You both have had a long day after all. You try to carefully avoid jostling the cat as you lay down, but it immediately scoots over and curls up against you anyway. That's a good sign, right? You smile. Sweet dreams. Now it's coming, guys. You feel like you slept for a long time. You feel a warm weight on your back, but you don't see. Oh, mystery solved then. You feel comfortable? You consider getting up. But as soon as a thought enters your head, your mind fills with static and a deep sense of disapproval. Not yet then. Okay. The cat, jostled by your attempts at movement, nets painfully at your back before settling down again and falling back asleep. You fall back into slumber too. It's night. You want to get up. Claws dig into your back like a warning. Tomorrow then, right? It's morning, you'll be late for work, but the cat doesn't budge. You don't even try to get up this time. You just close your eyes and drift off again. Fuck work. It's... It's the next day. Since the last several days, or has it been weeks? Or longer? You're not quite sure. You're hungry. You don't know how long you've been lying down. You feel sore in your back, but also on your stomach, your arms, your face, everywhere. You can't remember your last meal, the last time you drank anything. You've been sleeping all this time, but you feel exhausted, more tired than you think you've ever felt in your life. It feels like a giant hand is pressing you into the bed. You can't remember the last time you even considered moving. But somehow, you know that you need to go back to sleep anyway. Everything will be fine if you just go back to sleep. Story of my life. You think you're hallucinating when the cat finally stirs. It stretches languidly before hopping off your back. You hear its feet padding through your still open bedroom door, its steps fading down the hall. You don't open your eyes. You don't move. You're afraid you don't remember how. You're afraid that the static will return if you try. But you eventually do try. You try to prop yourself up on your arm. It's thinner than you've ever seen it. Thinner than you think should be possible. Crack. The arm snaps under the weight of your body and crumbles to dust on the bed sheets. It doesn't hurt in the slightest, as even your nerves had dried up and become as useless as, well, as useless as you feel in general. Okay, thank you. Just how long have you been lying in bed? You don't have much time to think about it. Your failed attempt at sitting up sends you tumbling over the side of the bed like a rag doll. Crack, crack, crack. But you think you're probably closer to being a ceramic doll as your body shatters instantly upon impact with the floor. Your head rolls towards the door, letting you watch as the rest of your strong body parts crack and crumble and turn to broken ruin as your consciousness begins to fade. The cat strolls into view then, poking and prodding at the remains of your brittle limbs. Bad kitty, you try to say, but you think your jaw might snap off earlier as well. Almost at a sense in your attention. The cat walks over to you. Well, your head at least. And you watch with your final consciousness seconds as it lies down, curling its body around you. It feels warm. Well, maybe another nap couldn't hurt. Just a cat nap. Well, I don't know what about you guys, but that ending is perfect for me. It's a story of my life because I love napping just like a cat.